What's up everyone, my name is Cam and welcome back to Carolina Fragrance Reviews. I hope all of you are having an awesome week. And yes, spring is almost here, so yeah, you're gonna start seeing a bunch of these top 10 spring lists popping up, just like this one today. But I figured I'd go ahead and kick it off with some cheapies. We got daylight savings, coming up, and yeah, the days are getting longer. So yeah, we're gonna have to start digging into those spring fragrances, but might as well do it on a budget for the first one. So this is 10 spring fragrances that will run you less than 50, and in most cases, 30 or less. Let's get into this. So to kick things off, I have a fresh, spicy, woody fragrance from Lacoste that will run you about $30 to $35. It is Lacoste L'Homme Intense. This has a fantastic rhubarb note in it, which is actually a unique note that isn't used very often, especially in the cheaper fragrances. There's some really good niche fragrances that have the note of rhubarb, but I think this is done very well to be an inexpensive fragrance. So other than that rhubarb, you're also going to get notes like ginger and vanilla and cedar. This is a very nice, mass appealing, easy to wear fragrance that is a must-have for spring. Next fragrance is a very fresh, woody and spicy fragrance from Ferragamo. This is F Black. Now this fragrance is extremely versatile. As a matter of fact, you could wear this very easily to a wedding. Hey, spring is wedding season, wedding rehearsal, or you could also just kick it, around the grill, by the pool, whatever the case may be. And I know just depending on where you're living, pool might be a little aggressive, but hey, you can still have a barbecue around the pool even if you're not ready to jump in that cold water. So you could just be lounging around with your blue jeans and a t-shirt on. These spring evenings still get a little bit cooler, and like I said again, some of you are still full-blown winter and will be for a couple of months. Even in North Carolina, some of our biggest snowstorms have been in March and April. So the primary players really in this fragrance are going to be lavender and pepper for the most part. So you're going to get a nice smooth spiciness, but it's not like overly spicy. It's just really, really fresh and super easy to wear. And this is a must-have staple for 30 bucks. Another $30 must-have is going to be from Banana Republic. Of course, you guys know how I love my linen vetiver. This is such a fresh, clean, woody, slightly spicy, just a little bit of earthiness with this fragrance, but most of all, I just get a lot of cleanness. Now, as I've mentioned before, vetiver can be done several different ways. This is the freshest form of vetiver known to mankind. Especially for 30 bucks, this fragrance is an absolute must-have. Now, when you're thinking of spring, you're thinking of everything starting to bloom, the grass starting to get green, and I go back to the time when I was a kid when my mom actually hung clothes on a clothesline. They always smelled so good when you came into the house, just from being out there in that fresh air. And this still gives me that kind of vibe. As a matter of fact, I like it so much, I actually spray this one on my sheets, even like when it's in the dryer, or even before I'm gonna throw them in the dryer, just kind of douse this on there. That's a cool little tip. I mean, I know some of you might use like your snuggles. If you do, spray your snuggles with this. That works as well. Now, as I said, a lot of these fragrances are gonna come in around 30 bucks. The next one is no exception. This is a fragrance that was actually considered a perfect 10 from Kayla. It is Green Lover from Lolita Limpica. Now, this fragrance is something else. Again, I don't know if you saw that video or not. I'll go ahead and put the link for it right here. But I also mentioned in that video that Ashton from Gent Sense is the one that actually brought this fragrance up. I have seen it before. I never even thought twice about buying it, but I'm telling you what, this $30 gem is something else. It has obviously it's green, it's definitely gonna be green, but it even has like a creaminess that comes from a vanilla. So it's a very unique fragrance, especially for the price. But you also have some mandarin and some mint, some juniper mixed in with that vanilla. So you're gonna get a nice, bright, fresh, clean, green, and creamy vibe. Everybody's like, creamy, 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 creamy. Not everything is creamy, but usually if vanilla winds up getting in there somehow, there's chances it's gonna be creamy. As far as like a nice green, creamy fragrance, Green Lover is a must-have. You really need to check this one out. Before we get any further, I want to give a big shout out to today's sponsor. Go to www.myfragrancesamples.com. Enter my discount code CFR15 to get 15% off. Remember, every time you purchase, you get a free sample to go along with it. Great customer service and rather speedy deliveries. Now, granted, some of those speedy deliveries are hinged on USPS, so yeah, we'll just leave that there. The next fragrance is an iconic fragrance. It's gonna run you around $32, give or take, 30 to 35. I bought this one for 32. That's how that number came up. This is Rochas Man. Now, yes, this does look like something that you would find in an adult bookstore, but God help the person who has to use this. Hell no, to the no, no, no. But anyhow, this is such a great fragrance. I mean, I had seen a lot of people talk about it. I've owned this for quite some time. I've never featured it on this channel. I was just like, I have never even mentioned it. And actually, what made me even think about this, again, when Kayla and I were pulling all these fragrances out, we probably had 50, 60 fragrances over there, going through all of them, figuring out which ones were gonna be the 10 for one list and 10 for the other. She really liked this, but it didn't quite make the cut for the video. But this is a really, really nice and fresh and mass appealing fragrance that has a slight gourmand edge because it has a little bit of coffee in here, but not like super gourmand. It's just really fresh and invigorating, but it does have some depth and dimension because you have that coffee note in here. But you're also gonna get some jasmine, some lavender, and some vanilla mixed in here. And the lavender really is the star of the show in this fragrance. And then of course that lavender and coffee blended together like that just makes it a very unique fragrance. I can't say that I've smelled anything else like it. I'm sure there's something else out there. If there's something that you guys know of that's comparable to this, leave it down in the comments. Now, the next fragrance is a $30 fragrance that used to get a ton of love, but you just don't see it all that often anymore. It is L'Odyssée pour Homme from Issey Miyake. Now, this fragrance is fantastic. There's not a lot of fragrances out there that use the note of yuzu, but the way it is implemented in this fragrance is fantastic. It gives it a little bit of a tartness on the opening, but as it dries down, this fragrance has an amazing dry down. So for those of you who just like might have walked by and just caught it on the opening and just kept moving, spend some more time with this fragrance. It's really good. I really enjoy wearing this in the springtime especially. I will wear it in the summertime, but for whatever reason, it feels just absolutely perfect for spring. So other than that note of yuzu, you're gonna get some bergamot, some lemon, and also some vetiver. That vetiver is a little bit more woody. It does have a cleanness, but it's gonna be more of a woody vetiver versus like that really clean vetiver that I was talking about in Linen Vetiver from Banana Republic. But you definitely need to check this out. Issey Miyake has some of the absolute best fragrances for the price. All right, the next fragrance is gonna run you around $45 right now. I have actually seen this fragrance go cheaper, but I was looking everywhere and like the average price for John Varvatos Artisan is around $40 to $45. Of course, you know, if you're thrifty, if you're smart, you can find it cheaper. I know this can be bought cheaper, but there is getting a little bit of hype around John Varvatos, especially like the Artisan line for this time of year. They're very easy to wear. This is just a really nice, fresh, clean, aquatic, or aromatic would be the best word. I won't go so much as aquatic, but just really fresh, easy to wear, mass appealing, just really hard not to like. But it's got a nice zestiness to it. You've got some florals, some woods, some herbs in here. Just a great fragrance. Yeah, this is a good fragrance. I mean, I think this one probably gets overlooked a lot, but it's one of the best smelling from the Artisan line. I'd say this one and Artisan Pure are my favorite from the Artisan line, but actually the entire line smells good. Don't worry, that was just one $40 to $45 fragrance, so to make up for it, I'm breaking out a $20 banger. This one is Ferrari Noble Fig. This is such an easy fragrance to wear. It's green, it's fresh, it's aromatic, just super, super easy to wear. It definitely has that chill factor. I don't know about you guys, but for me, fig fragrances, tea fragrances, they just have that chill factor. You know, just thinking, laying in a hammock, t-shirt, you know, feet kicked up, just really relaxing, enjoying these nice, brisk breezes that we get in the springtime, that's exactly where this fragrance takes me. But the three primary notes that I get in this fragrance are iris, musk, and of course, fig. And I think it's actually listed as fig leaf, which is going to be primarily the case. If you do find a fragrance that actually has a fig note and fig leaf, that's going to be more of like that creamy fig. So this is more of like the greenness mixed with a bit of that fig. And that iris is a very nice addition to this DNA, and just a really, really high quality smelling fragrance for 20 bucks. The next fragrance is going to be a fresh, fruity, spicy, really hard not to like fragrance for 20 bucks. This is from Usher Raymond. This one is UR. Now, this fragrance is really, really good. Those of you who know about the Usher fragrances know that they are really good. For $20 fragrances, high quality. There was a lot of hype that went around these fragrances, like the VIP, they were all really good. But for spring, I feel that this one is absolutely perfect. It almost has a similar vibe to Silver Mountain Water. Now, I'm not saying it smells exactly like Silver Mountain Water, but that metallic kind of vibe that you get from Himalaya or Silver Mountain Water comes across in this fragrance, but actually a little closer to Silver Mountain Water than it would be Himalaya. Now, this fragrance has a really unique note breakdown. Some of the notes in this are going to be nutmeg, cashmere wood or cashmerean, and you also have some fruity notes in this. So this is a really great fragrance for 20 bucks, especially you younger guys, you know, you teenagers, early 20s. Not saying you guys in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s can't wear this, but this definitely has a more youthful vibe. And last but not least is a fresh, musky, aquatic fragrance that is very similar to a much sought after fragrance, the 2016 Invictus Aqua from Paco Rabanne. This one is Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. Another one that actually made it into one of those top 10 lists that Kayla liked a lot. So those fragrances that, you know, if you're worried about compliments or whatever, this is going to be that type of fragrance. Super easy to wear, super mass appealing, 30 bucks. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. If you don't have this one in your collection, I would definitely consider snatching it up. Some of the notes in this are going to be bergamot, grapefruit, lavender, and cardamom. Fantastic fragrance, extremely versatile. This one could be a signature scent. It could be a date night scent. It could be hanging out, chillaxing with your homies, whatever the case may be. 30 bucks, can't go wrong with this one either. So I will be whipping out a couple more lists. I'm gonna do a niche and I'm gonna do a designer, but I figured I'd go ahead and get you guys rolling with some inexpensive bangers. So let me know down in the comments, what is your go-to cheapie for spring? Until next time, I'll see you on Carolina Fragrance Reviews.